Reproduction requires a certain amount of investment from both males and females. Energy is required to seek out and attract a mate. Energy is required to produce gametes, typically much more of an investment for females, although over a course of a lifetime, the male investment may be comparable. In many species, there is care given after birth, and so additional investment from the parents is required. Therefore, individuals would like to maximize the success of their offspring rather than waste the investment into reproduction without passing on genes to the next generation. If there was any scenario which would decrease the viability or fertility of the offspring, such as an individual mated with another species and the hybrid offspring were not as viable or were not as fertile, this might then decrease the number of genes an individual passes on to the next generation. In many cases, two species cannot successfully hybridize, and offspring would fail, perhaps during development, perhaps shortly after birth, and thus all of an individual's reproductive investment would be wasted in this example. Thus, we often see that species have reinforcing mechanisms which encourage individuals to mate within the species with individuals with whom reproduction is likely to be successful. So very often there are color variations, and females would prefer to mate with males of the appropriate color pattern. Very often there are songs, whether these be cricket songs or frog songs or bird songs, and females prefer the songs which pertain to their species. Mammals often use pheromones or odorants which help individuals identify the conspecifics. And so given that the cost of reproductive failure can be high for an individual, there are reinforcing mechanisms which encourage individuals to mate with likely candidates, typically from the same species.